Hello, everybody. Glad to be here with you guys tonight. I know we had a slight delay, but nonetheless, really glad to have you guys here for this live broadcast. We are back once again with the one and only Rue Black of Black Rue Investing, and also our very special guest for the first time, which is the one and only Underdog Research of the Underdog Research channel. We're going to obviously talk about Swftc tonight. We've had, of course, a long break. I've been with you guys and so on, taking care of some personal matters. But nonetheless, glad to be here with you guys. And with that said, we're just going to briefly get into some of the comments. Welcome, you guys. We just like to advise you to please smash that like button. It does help trigger the YouTube algorithm. And if anything, if you're on X, also helps trigger that. So let's go ahead and recognize a few of you guys. Let's start off with the first comment of the day. It is the one and only Jack Thompson, live from Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for being here, Jack. He says, on lunch, Max, we'll be watching. Well, thanks for being here. On top of that, Richie Rich is in the house. He's welcoming you guys. We got Brittany also here. Boomer F and Sooner is back. Welcome everybody. JASMY West is in the house. And Tim Shea, Mayor of Crypto Commissioner in the house. Good to see you, Tim. All right. We also got River is also back. We got Rob, who is Rob Mass. Check him out on his channel as well, Crypto Future 99. He says he's back, baby. He'll be listening from the gym. Yeah, that's good. You know, nice to be pump some iron. Do it. All right. A few more comments. Crypto Nation says, let's go.
So, Crypto Nation.
Funky Action. We got XXI Gaming from X. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know why it's not highlighting that comment. There we go. So good to see XXI. Just going to welcome a few more of you guys. Obviously excited about the Swftc coverage from Crypto Nation. Patrick Collier, glad to have you back, sir.
What up, Patrick?
All right. So we're just going to wait for...
right there.
Yeah, we're going to wait for a few more people to filter in. Marie, welcome. We got Tizzo, Cars and Cryptos back, and also the one and only Derek Hine. So let's read this from, oh, you're shooting a message. Well, thank you for that, Underdog. All right, so, you know, people are doing a good job of filtering in. We do appreciate that. It looks like we're going to have some pretty decent numbers tonight. You know, we've had a delay for like over a week, at least on this particular platform. We're going to give a chance to do a quick plug. If you guys are new, and this is your first time tuning in, we have a gentleman in the top right of your screen, which is Rue Black. He can be followed over on his platform, which is this right here on X. And yes, also, as you can see, he is at Black Rue, which is the same username. You could also look for him on the YouTube platform. So I'm just going to go ahead and full screen that for a bit. There he is. And then on top of that, he can also be followed on YouTube, just like I mentioned, at Black Rue. And, you know, covers quite a few things, right? Just take a moment to maybe talk about your live show for just a bit before we kick it on over to Underground. Or, excuse me, Underdog, sorry.
Hi, guys. Black Rue Investing, also the Crypto Rue podcast. You guys can find me live streaming on Wednesdays around 6-ish. Also on Saturdays around 10-ish in the morning PST. All right. And we talk a lot of crypto coins, Swift, LCX, and Dragon Coin of what we've been talking lately. So definitely come through. We'd love to have you guys over there.
Awesome, brother. Glad to have you back. A lot of you guys are already familiar with Rue. Please, the least you can do, guys, none of this is, you know, something we charge, you know. But yeah, the least you can do is follow these guys, support people who also do the deep dive research. That's one thing that really stands out about Rue and also the Underdog Research channel. And speaking of which, here is Underdog's channel right here. Here's his YouTube channel. And Underdog, if you'd just like to take a moment to give us a brief synopsis of your channel.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for letting me be here today with Maximus and Black Rue Investing. Hello, everyone. I'm an Underdog researcher. My channel is the Underdog Research channel. My background, I'm a digital forensic scientist, a cyber expert, and one of the things that I try to focus on is looking for opportunities for those who may not have a lot of money, a lot of resources to get into these opportunities by getting research instead of the hype. That's very important to me. I think this is an opportunity in blockchain that everyone has this chance, but sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. So I try to provide information that helps you. Now, my research channel will cover blockchain technology and a lot of music technology opportunities as well, and also the metaverse. So hopefully, if you have opportunity, please make sure you come and check it out. And I look forward to speaking with Maximus from Black Roo and you today. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We're glad to have you guys here. We're just going to maybe welcome just a few more people. Let's welcome Zeesh369, a visionary of life hacks. He wants to know what the ticker symbol is for Dragon Coin.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, no worries. And then we're going to go further down, and I think that's about it for now. So Blackwood is in the house, I think, somewhere. There he is. Good to see you, brother Blackwood. Welcome, welcome. We're just going to go ahead and kick it in. Just want to advise you guys, please smash the like button. It does trigger the algorithm. We understand since, Thursdays, a lot of other shows going on as we speak. But, guys, it does work. It does get it out there. So, please do so, especially if you're watching currently from YouTube or X. Understand there's a lot of doom and gloom going on right now with the overall crypto market, and you may feel as though if you're brand new to crypto, why are these particular coins and tokens down? Again, keep in mind that BTC, Ethereum still represent roughly 80 to 81% of the overall crypto market, but it ain't about that tonight. Let's talk about some real utility. And with that also said, according to Roo, Underdog is going to be the first to take it away with the presented research of tonight, which is our coin highlight, Swift coin. So without further ado, Underdog, go ahead and take it away, sir.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Maximus, Black Roo, people who are coming, friends, family. Look, today I want to bring something for the first time ever on Maximus channel. The word on the street is Maximus is one of the premier subject matter experts on Stellar, XLM. He's one of those individuals you go to if you want to know facts, and that's what I'm about, and I want to make sure I bring this to you. So without further ado, let me bring something for the first time. So I'm telling you, you're going to need to tune back into this video because what is about to be shared, I have not found one other person sharing this information, and it's a connection between Stellar and Swift and a rumor that I had discussed. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take a moment to upload a couple of things because in order to get to the future, sometimes we got to go to the past, right? So if I can, I'm going to upload a video. It's a 6-minute video, and it's a question answer session I did a couple of weeks ago after I released a video that called Buy the Rumor, Sell the News, or other one. Buy the news, sell the room. And the video is about Stellar and Swift. There was a conversation that was being held that Dyor stated that Swift and Stellar would have some type of collaboration with MoneyGround. Now, there was a lot of questions that came up, of course, right? One, would they use XLM token? How would that work? What would that look like? Now, because if this was true, it was supposed to happen at the end of March. And if this was true, I think everyone could see this would be a big deal monetarily, especially if we got there early. Now, here's the problem with it, though. Quickly after I released this information, all of a sudden it went off the Dyor. Now, I don't know about you. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that when you find something like that, and it was sitting there for almost 2 years, and all of a sudden goes blank. Now, this is what I thought. At the time that it went blank, I didn't even research that part. I heard from community members that it disappeared from the Dyor website. But I keep receipts, so I had already screenshotted it and shared it with you, and the individuals who saw that saw the same thing. So you can't say the Underdog gave you information that didn't exist. It existed, but someone tried to remove the evidence of that existence. But why would they do that? Well, today on Maximus Crypto show, I'm going to tell you why they did it. I'm going to give you direct evidence today And I'm going to allow you as the community members, as researchers, to go and look and check my facts. If I am lying on any of these facts, then call me out. Say, Underdog researcher lied to us, but I don't think you'll do that. I think you're going to ask the company the question, why did they remove this information? Well, let me show you why. So I'm going to pull up a slide, and give me a second as I go through my computer and pull up this slide so I can give you some information. Maximus, could you bring this up? I just uploaded. Hopefully it processes. And as it comes up, it's going to go over a couple of things. Now, this was the video I made a few weeks ago, the rumors about Swift and MoneyGram. Now, I want you to know that then I answer questions a couple of weeks afterwards that the community have. Now, I have nothing to do with Swift Coin. They don't pay me. I don't have no promotion, no advertisement. I'm a non-biased researcher. I don't have a dog in this fight. I report research I find. But I answer questions based off the research. Now, when I looked into this, this is what I found. May 6th of 2019 at 3:44 p.m. on the verified site for Swift blockchain, Swift Coin, this was not removed. On May 15th, it says at stellarpay.org, XLB, notice it's XLB, not XLM, will become one of the first at Stellar.org tokens available on Swift blockchain. Then it tagged these organizations. Stellar Pay, XLB connects banks, payment systems, and people. And as soon as you will be able to swap it easily over 160 currencies. Now, this was on Swift blockchain site. Now, I think what happened on this particular piece, that as someone decided to take off the evidence about CoinDar, they forgot to take the evidence off of Swift. Sorry, guys, you got to make sure you clean up better. So I want to make sure. So I went to stellarpay.org. Now, if you notice, Maximus, you can jump in here too. See, Stellar has their own website, and it ends in what? .io or .org? It ends in
.org.
And they have an IO. So so I wanted to know, because the ending of this matter too. So I went to this page, and this was a Facebook page that was posted in May 6, 2019 on Stellar. Now, on the right-hand side, it gives the exact same information. Now, it's kind of hard to see, so I'm going to read it to you. It says, say hello to Swift Pay, a one-stop instant exchange payment aggregation platform with access to all major cryptocurrency payments, and use Swift Pay. That's the application for Swift for all cryptocurrency trading needs, or to provide a perfect payment experience for users to accept over all these different digital currencies. So I saw now, instead of that one piece to CoinDar, I have Swift, the actual project, giving a connection, tagging Stellar Pay, and I see Stellar Pay on their social media tagging Swift. But I went a step further. See, I scrubbed the web because I didn't want to look yet, and I want to find out whatever out there prove that the coin site that was updated was actually done by Swift. Because if we could actually see that the person who's updating or was associated with the company, then we could have a connection to see why they deleted it. And sure enough, I found that it was scrubbed. According to the history of the internet web, there was one archive site in 2019. And this site, in which I brought to you right here, I took a screenshot. It shows that Stellar Pay and Swift were listed, and they did make a post at 2019 on CoinDar. Now, I want to go a step further because I highlighted there for you to see. So I looked at Stellar Pay in 2009 on CoinDar, and I see that Stellar Pay also showed XLB and also other updates. I want to go a little bit further, and this is what I found. On March 21st of 2023, this site has been taken down, but this was MoneyGram stated on March 21st of 2023, that's last year, folks, the following: digital wallets help sending, receiving, and holding digital assets possible. Now, if you read through this posting, they gave 2 digital wallets, Lobster and Vibrant. Now, this is MoneyGram. I have not said Swift yet. I hope you that. So the point is, can we connect Coin, Stellar, Dyor, and can we connect MoneyGram to Swift, whether we reverse engineering or not? So I want to go a step further, and I want to set this up because then we're going to have to go to some links and see it firsthand. So then on October 4th, 2023, another update. Interestingly, they took it down again. Now, why would a company keep taking it down? And they added to this Lobster wallet, Beans wallet, and this is on MoneyGram. And MoneyGram, again, is giving notation to these wallets. But y'all know you have to pay attention to detail. I want you to notice that Lobster still remains here. Now, as we go forward, and then I'm going to show you some links. This is the full link of MoneyGram. This is MoneyGram as a company, and they show you how it would work, how you can get your cash out, how you would transfer to all these different countries, and they still note this piece. And this is associated with that, which is a icon. Now, I've never seen this icon before. Maximus, have you seen this icon before?
No, sir, I have not.
I have not either. So I wanted to see what this icon had to do with anything and why was that there. So I try to go to the site and what do I have? My browser said, hey, wait a minute, this is blocked. So that made me think this has to be a scam. This had to be a scam if stellarpay.org is blocked and I try to go to the site. But I don't understand if Stellar Pay is blocked, then why would Swiftcoin right here tag stellar.org? With the same logo and the same website and the same company which they reference. So it got me thinking, I think I need to go see if there's any evidence out there. So let me just jump down to some of the evidence that I did find that I thought that you might want to see. So I'm going to switch this and I'm going to go to my links. So let me stop sharing that and let me present a screen share. And let me start with the first link. So here in this first link, what do we see? We see that we have Stellar and we see this is Swift blockchain. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Can y'all still see that for me? Because I can't see the screen anymore. So I want to make sure.
I'm going to zoom in more. There you go.
Okay. And I can make it bigger and then make sure I'm on the right space. As we're having this conversation, I got too many tabs up. All right. So as we can see, we have Swiftcoin, Swift blockchain. And let me go back to their page. This is their website. We can see how many, at 77,000 followers on their website. And as I look at this, I'm looking at the connections and here's stellar.org. So I click on it. Wait a minute. This is the same stellar.org, is it not? They tagged them, which is 771,000. Maximus, can you confirm if this is the actual site of stellar.org?
Absolutely is. It has the white with yellow check mark.
White with yellow check mark. We got 531 following. We got San Francisco, stellar.org. So I just want to make sure we're not making this stuff up as we go. So when did this happen? This is 2019. So we got Swift blockchain, who's tagging stellarpay.org, the same company. Wait a minute, though. When you click on stellar.org, we find that this site is suspended. I'm a little confused. Swift blockchain makes an announcement on May 15th May 6th of 2019. They tag stellar.org, who says that XLB will become one of the first stellar.org tokens for Swift blockchain. They tag both the actual companies who is verified to be the right person. And then we saw that the link was linked to the Dyor. And so it got me thinking, maybe we should go a step further. So let me see if I can go a step further. I'm going to go ahead and I got to find my StreamYard. I'm going to take this off. Stop sharing that one. And I'm going to share another link. Let me see if I can pull this link up. Share this one. And I'm going to go right to the source. So we're going to go back to the source, which should be right about, let me find this one for you. let's go to this one. So I'm going to share this one. Let me see if you can see that one. So I go to Medium because it got to be a coincidence, guys. It got to be a coincidence, right? And so I go to Medium and I see that there's this stellar community. And I see this was published in October 2019. And when I was looking at this one, and let me go ahead and go there as well. Let me get to the right piece on mine. All right, one moment as I navigate to the right tab that's open. As I look through this one, it says it's official. We've completed a second round of Stellar Community Fund. And it goes through and I read this one. I verify that this is Zach in a community, in a Stellar community. And these are posted on the Stellar official Medium page as well, where it goes through their information. And here we go again, Stellar Pay. And in Stellar Pay, it shows Stellar Lumens. And in Stellar Lumens right here, I'm looking at this and I see that Stellar Pay was associated with an official Medium, and this Medium is still associated back with the actual Stellar project, but it's got to be a coincidence. So I'm going to show you one last piece, and then I'm going to go and see and let you decide what you think about this piece. So I'm going to stop sharing this, and let me go and find this link before I tell you about it, because I got too many links open. Here we go. Give me 20 seconds as I navigate through my links. And what I want to see is there a connection between Stellar that we saw in the Stellar Pay and what we are also seeing there? So let me pull this open. Here we go. Perfect. Okay. And now let me go back to StreamYard. So here's the last one. And it's actually a few, but I believe we can get to everything from here. So I'm going to show you this and make sure. There we go. Is that it? Here we go. And let's open this one up. So make sure I can see you on my StreamYard. So now what we have here that I want to show you today, folks, is the stellarpay.org, the same stellarpay.org that I discussed when we first started talking about this project. Now, what I want you to see on the stellarpay.org is this is their Facebook page. This Facebook page was open about 2019. And I'm going to go to mentions. And I click on mentions. And here's Stellar Lumens page. Congratulations to Lobster Company, tagging stellarpay.org, Stellar Port, and more on Medium. And back to the original Medium site. And I make sure we can see that on the StreamYard. All right, there we do. We still see it on StreamYard. Right. And so as I'm looking at these different links, I noticed that one thing that's consistent. Even when I go to it's being in Singapore, I look up the email addresses and I search. This is what I found. Stellar.pay.org and Swift Blockchain, still showing that they had a collaboration and a link on all their social media pages. And the same Stellar.org, the same symbol that we saw there was the same similar earlier. Now, this was July 13th of 2023. That was last year. And they talk about not only Stellar, but look at instead of XLB, they're back to XLM. And they discuss that stellarpay.org is still associated with Stellar. And that Stellar is still the same Stellar that's associated with the links on MoneyGram. And the same wallet that we saw, and I'll make sure I can see this on here. I think I'm still on the same page. So let me make sure I show you the right page. Let me go back here. So that same one on mentions, let's go here. Make sure I can see it. Too many tabs open. I'm going to go back and stop this one so we can get the right page up. So the same one that we see mentioned on Stellar right here. Tell me if y'all can see that, because I can't see. I got too many tabs.
Yes, sir, we see it. It's the stellarpay.org.
Okay, stellarpay.org. Now, on this, does it go to the mentions? Is it on the mention site?
Yes, it shows Lumen's page. You got block card, et cetera, et cetera.
Perfect. So here's the lobster, the same lobster that we saw on MoneyGram, the same aspect that was taken down, simpler Stellar wallet. This wallet, which was advertised by MoneyGram twice in the what I showed you earlier, is still showing that was advertised connected to stellar.pay.org, to the medium that is stellar.pay.org, to Swift blockchain that said stellar.pay.org, and Stellar company itself even tagging the same company. So what this showed me, based on what I saw here, and let me get back to StreamYard so I can see it. So what this has shown me, and I'm going to let you see these links. So if you go here, you can quickly go to Facebook. Please make sure you go before they take this down too. But what this shows me is that my hypothesis that occurred with the MoneyGram conversation is this. When that CoinDar posted this site, it was true. I think that the only reason that someone would take something down is the same reason humans do anything, is to hide evidence. See, if it was a random person who posted this on CoinDar, then that person would not have thought to go back. How many of you have ever went back to your calendar on Microsoft and deleted a calendar post that you did 2 years ago? Nobody. And how many of you went back to your MySpace page, if you had MySpace, and deleted a post you made 2 years ago? Nobody. But I tell you, a company would. What we have seen, though, with the connection between the CoinDar post is now moving from one source to multiple sources. As I searched through, I found over 20 links that directly have tagged cross tags between stellar.org and stellar.io, with the social media Twitter of Stellar, and also with Swift blockchain. And they all did that in the exact same time frame. In fact, I brought it up and I did a little spectrum about the time frame. From the time that CoinDar was posted, it was less than 24 hours later that they announced this as well. Now, I don't know about you folks, but we call that temporal proximity. If I see someone rob a bank and their name is Jack Daniels, and that person's in front of the bank holding a gun, and then the bank is robbed, but they say it wasn't them, then likely that person probably is lying and they probably did this thing. Now, I can't confirm or not whether or not that the company did this because they haven't said it. But what I want to show you is there is a high probability that Stellar and stellar.pay.org are some type of collaboration with Swift at one point. Now, why would they not tell you that? Sometimes companies make mistakes, and sometimes information is leaked unnecessarily. Now, if this is true, then from what the information I've seen is this collaboration, when China starts to open up its doors later on in the fourth quarter, imagine Swift as the token currency in this open source market. Well, I want to answer one last question. That's okay with you, Maximus and Rue. I got one last thing I want to show you.
You can share as much as you want, my friend. Thank you.
There's this one last piece. Someone asked a question. They says, how can they use Swift token on a Stellar network? Don't we want to know how that could be possible?
Absolutely.
All right. So let me show you how this could be possible. And I'm going to, so I don't have to show you too many open tabs, I'm going to delete some of these open tabs so we can get right down to how that is possible. So let me delete some of these tabs because there's too many for me. And now we'll show you how they could use. Here we go. And that should be Stellar. Okay, here we go. So let me show you this last one to answer the question that someone has to ask how this would be possible. So let's go to it. Here we go. And can you see this, or do I need to make it bigger?
Yes, we can see. I'm going to go ahead and full screen it more.
Okay.
There we go.
So according to this article that was written on CryptoRank, Stellar breaks free, unleashes a new open source disbursement platform. August 6, 2023, this was the article written. Blockchain-based payments network Stellar has introduced the open source Stellar disbursement platform, aimed at facilitating faster, cost-effective, and transparent digital disbursement worldwide. Developed by Stellar Development Foundation, SDF, just a quick note, the same one tagged on stellarpay.org, over the past year. The platform enables individuals and organizations to execute bulk disbursements using digital assets for various purposes, including gig work payments and digital aid delivery. Initially deployed for digital aid disbursements in Ukraine, the turnkey payment solution is now, that's the key thing, open source and available for use and further development by anyone. This is a revolutionizing global payments. According to this announcement made on Wednesday, the Stellar disbursement platform allows users to send funds to thousands of recipients swiftly within seconds. Now, if you was to read the rest of this, it goes through the details of this collaboration. But the reason that they would be able to use the Stellar network is because Stellar created an open source platform enabling anyone and organizations to use the Stellar network with whatever technology they have, kind of like an API. That is the research, and that's what I want to announce here today on your show. I hope that y'all enjoy that information about Stellar. Please look into it and fact check the Underdog research on that information.
Absolutely fantastic research, to say the least. To be expected, to be honest. This is what I was talking about with Rue. I've been watching and tuning into your show. You continuously bring it. On the surface, with what was presented here tonight, I'm going to lean towards yes. You know, like you said, here's his hypothesis. I'm going to go ahead and back that up. I could look more into it too. But guys, I mean, at the end of the day, we're connecting dots here, which obviously that's something we do on a regular. You can see the presented material. Look more into it yourself. Underdog is right. Who realistically goes back on their old school, like myself, MySpace, and deletes old posts? Nobody really does that. This is a perfect case that, you know, yes, maybe somebody got some kind of notice, said, hey, you know what, you got to do your best, go out there and, you know, NDAs, hello, and cover your tracks, if you will. But in reality, it's like, unless you have somebody who's remembering every single thing that was posted everywhere on social media and various other sites and so on, it's really difficult to do that unless, let's face it, you have something in which, all right, here's a physical ledger. And we literally every single time posted something, you know, somebody wrote it down. Yep, I posted on MySpace. I posted on Facebook. I posted on this. That is not realistic. But what you see here, in my opinion, is realistic. Rue.
Amazing, man. This is amazing, amazing research. I love it, bro. I just want to tie it back into some stuff that I brought you guys, which is Tim Draper. He's the biggest connection here. Remember that Draper is an initial investor in Coinbase, and the relationship that Coinbase has with Stellar and USDC. And of course, Tim Draper and Draper Dragons are the quote unquote kind of owners or money behind Swift. So Draper connects Stellar and Swift right there. Both of those are things that he owns, right? So keep that in mind too.
Absolutely. Guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, just to kick it back in the comments so we're not too far behind. Thank you so much to everybody that's tuned in tonight. We are approaching 160 live on the show. Pretty decent numbers considering, you know, the market has had a massive red day lately, right? A lot of fear, but glad to have you guys here nonetheless. I did see something just highlighted. It's from Henry Brown. We're so close, everybody. Just hang in there. Thank you for being a member for 6 months, Henry Brown. More than appreciate that. We're going to do now is just get back into a few more comments. Not take a long time to do it, but recognize some of you guys that kind of filtered in and so on. Just want to again advise you guys that if you smash the like on both X and also YouTube, it really does trigger the YouTube algorithm. So thank you guys for doing that. Saw a few more of you guys kind of filter in and so on. So definitely want to welcome some of you guys. We have the one and only King Asher. He says Underdog has some amazing research. Very impressive deep dives. Check this bro out. Are you familiar with King Asher, Underdog?
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry, it went out. Go ahead.
Oh,
Keen
sorry.
Asher.
Yeah, he says Underdog has some amazing research. Very impressive deep dives. Check this bro out. You familiar with King Asher?
Oh no, not. But I'm not. But thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Honor, humble. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here, King. Guys, anybody that you see is new, King, I never seen you here before. If you have been here before, I apologize. But I always like to welcome people within our communities and so on. I also like to advise, get yourself a custom avatar. It does help us, identify you real quick by associating a picture to the name. But, not something you have to do. Thank you for being here. Going further down, we have the one and only Corey Beebe in the house, aka Just Me Not the Scam. Let's go. All right, glad to have you, Beebs. Cool Cat Crypto's in the house. He's a guy that obviously appreciates research. Glad to have Cool Cat here. Going further down, KK is in the house. Let's read this from Trust Truth. He says, big up to you, Rue. Also, Underdog. Myself, this is some powerful research connection. Yes, thank you for that. All right, going further down. Yes. GS is in the house. Welcome. We have me, Paradis, if I'm pronouncing it right. He says, Stellar's chosen one. LOL. People need to understand. Yes, thank you for that. All right, let's see here. That's a nice comment you got there, Blackwood. All right. Let's go further down. OMC, just a rocket in the middle, is stellar. Thank you for that catch, OMC. Welcome. Let's also welcome the one and only. Okay, glad that you guys are recognizing people from your communities. Elon Muff, Mike Cornwell's in the house. Welcome. We got Roderick Williams. Load up on JASMY. I would agree with you on that. Crypto Coin Guy, good evening. Along with Swift Coin, glad to have you. Shout out to you and the Elmo token. And yeah, just remind people smash that like and so on. All right, how about this one from me Paratus? Looks like a scammy page. Nah, I think he's referring to the part with Underdog. It's research, I guess, in regards to the the Facebook page and so on. Let's see what else we got real quick. Vibra Finance, another researcher. Go ahead and give support to all these guys in this space that do research. Vibra Finance has great research. Give him a follow as well. We also want to welcome Brian Dowie, who's also in the house. Richie Rich. G. Welcome, G. I remember you.
What's up, G?
All right.
Oh, me.
And yes, I totally agree with that. Look at that. Nice little compliment for you, Underdog. All right. Elizabeth De La Cruz is thanking us and so on. And we're at the second to the last comment. It is from G. It says, keeping his eye out on Swiftcoin. Awesome. And Metapath, in case Metapath decides to launch a coin. He's almost convinced they will soon.
Ooh, nice.
We're going to use that as a bookmark. We are now going to enter into the next particular segment here in a bit. Before we do so, I just want to re-advise everyone to smash the like, but to also check out some of these guys' channels. We will highlight this one, which is Underdog Research Channel. As you guys saw, you had Underdog who just brought the alpha, for crying out loud, with the research. This is his channel. You owe it to yourself to follow these guys who take the liberty of going into the deep dive content. As you know, or may have heard or not heard, Underdog has a forensics science background. Wow, incredible, right? Go to his channel, right? He covers Swiftcoin and some of these other ones consistently. If you appreciate deep dive content, you owe it to yourself to check out his channel. When you go to his channel, you will see that he can be followed over here at Underdog Research Channel, just like how it sounds. And he does, for example, live shows. He has live premieres. I've attended them. And he's consistent with it. He does collaborations, obviously, with Rue, Shook Focus, and other people from this space and so on. So definitely give him a follow. He does recorded videos as well. So if that's your thing, you like a little bit of both, he has that. And then on top of that, give a follow to the next person that's going to present some material tonight, which is Rue Black. Here's his channel. Let's go ahead and full screen that as well. Black Rue Investing. You guys know the drill. And it's like it says, Ruel, Black, the Crypto Rue podcast. We know him as our fellow brother Rue, RUE, Rue Black in the house, fellow Valley of the Sun person like myself. And he also brings the alpha. He has live shows. And yes, give him a follow. You'd be glad you did so. He also has videos that he uploads as well. And very glad to share that. Rue can also be followed on X. Here's his X. So, but either way, he can be followed at Black Rue on both YouTube and X. And that's BLACKRUE. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and kick it into the next part of our coverage tonight, which is more Swiftcoin Alpha. And we're going to kick it over to you, Rue.
Okay, I just want to give you guys some information on Tim Draper. Like I said before, Tim Draper is the biggest connection on all of this. If you realize that him through the Draper Dragons, that he owns Swift, and that he's also a initial investor in Coinbase, you see that Stellar and Swift have a ownership connection right there. Well, when I talk Stellar having a kind of ownership connection, we have to go back into how Stellar and Coinbase have a huge connection with the USDC and MoneyGram. Stellar, you can basically use USDC natively on Coinbase, okay, which is a pretty huge deal. So I just wanted to give you guys a couple things about Tim Draper here. Let me go ahead and bring up. So there was some recent news that came out about HBAR, right? And HBAR, oh man, it's not here. HBAR recently did a collaboration with, well, they initially announced it as doing it with BlackRock, but BlackRock was like, hey, you're just buying our funds, so kind of keep our name out of it. So they went and amended the update. So let me go ahead and share this here right quick. And please be patient. We'll bring it all back around here.
No worries. While you're doing that, I want to welcome Greg Richard. He says, is 200,000 coins enough for Swiftcoin? I would say more than enough. I mean, I always tell people, it's never financial advice, but I always tell them, like, make some goals, maybe 100,000 and so on. But, at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you and your family. It's not a, measuring contest. Maybe for some of us it is, but that's okay too. So, we're going to pull this up. So let's go ahead and kick it back into what we have. And yes, there it is on the screen. Take it away, sir.
Okay, so here is the announcement here. HBAR, we wanted to provide some clarification on Tuesday's announcement. The Arcanix team, in a partnership with Onera IO, remember that, has tokenized its shares of BlackRock's ICS US Treasury, MFM or MMF, and selected Hedera. So they decided to tokenize this money market fund on Hedera, and they partnered with Onera. Okay. Now I was like, oh, Onera, I think I've heard that before. So let me share another site with you here. Stop sharing that one. Bring this guy up. Okay, can you guys see Draper Gore and Home?
The one that says blockchain venture and so on?
Yes, for
Yeah,
whatever
we see it.
reason, it didn't show the beginning graphic, but you can see here Draper Gore and Home is a blockchain venture studio and fund created by Tim Draper, Alan Gorin, and Joseph Home. Okay, And if we go into some of their actual investment portfolios, did you guys see that?
Yes, you got Return, Dgens, Casper Labs. Ooh, Casper
Okay.
Labs. Interesting.
So yeah, we see Casper Labs. That is also something that Tim Draper is invested in. Like that's why I say this guy's reach is ridiculous, bro. So if we go down a little bit here, you can see some other ones, but here we have Onera. So Onera is something that is also owned by these guys, and definitely go on the channel and check it out. I have a video that's called Tim Draper, Crypto's Quiet King. Like I literally have a mind map where I just go over a ton of Tim Draper assets. You can clearly see, like, if you know that he's in all of these assets. To me, it signals crypto's not just this um, emerging asset, as everyone likes to call it, like just fledgling little thing that might just make it after all. To me, it's up next. It's what's coming next, and they're just putting in all the groundwork, all the legalities, all of the everything to make it up next. And the whole thing that everyone says about kind of a switch flipping event, in my opinion, that probably will happen at some point. But they're getting all of that into place now, and have been for years. So if we go over here and look at Onera and we look at their website, I wonder if it'll let us here. You can see some of their CTOs here, their founders. Um, I think you'd say that Amy, Ben David, Yuval Carmel, Anthony Woodley, and Greg Brogger. But if we go into their website, you can see that Onera is like institutional crypto kind of investing. And now that we have institutions here, we got more diamond hands. So interoperability, distribution, liquidity for global tokenization market. So this is part of Tim Draper's reach, real estate, debt, equity, enabling digital trading between clients of financial institutions. So they're bringing all the institutional money. To me, what this says again is a slow conversion of fiat to actual cryptocurrency. Okay. So,
On this particular one, I don't know if you
sure.
skipped to another particular tab or anything like that, but it's still their profiles, which is fine. You can obviously
Okay.
share
I'm going to
those.
share it.
Okay.
I'll click. It says share this instead.
Okay, cool. Yep,
Did
there
it
we
get
go.
it there?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and full screen that one. There we go.
Okay, so you can see it says interoperability, distribution, and liquidity for global tokenization market. And for me, this says all of the assets that we're seeing in fiat are slowly being tokenized over to cryptocurrency. And it's kind of starting here with the institutions. Okay, so before people know it, all the institutions will have all their money tokenized, and in cryptocurrency, and before they know it, the fiat switch is flipped off, and the CBDC, USDC, on all of that switch is flipped on, like, officially.
Guys, just real quick, think about what he said about that flip of the switch moment. There's so many people, and like Will Fix and I discussed this recently, and that is, so many people put too much focus on just what's in front of them. This is what I see with the current price. I know I might have worn out this expression of utility emotion, but to have that switch flipped on when it comes to like what Rue just mentioned with fiat and so on, where that switch is now activating the utility. That's the bottom line. That's why we're so gung ho about all this stuff, is to
Yep.
actually be invested in property or proper utility that could be put in motion. How? Literally, as it sounds, a flip of the switch, for crying out loud. This is a great example of that. Taking on, debt, taking on, for example, RWA, so many things in these particular sectors. What sectors, guys? The private sector. Again, this is not JASMY coverage, but one of the key things that the digital economy minister of Japan pointed out was what? Enabling the private sectors. And guys, they're not just going after it just a little bit. They're going after it like gangbusters. Back to you.
Right. So here we have the private sector slowly converting their fiat to cryptocurrency and the real world tokenization of assets into cryptocurrency. So real estate, debt, equity, and if we go down here, enabling digital trading between clients of financial institutions across blockchain, any issuance or exchange platform, any custody technology, so custodying crypto as well, any settlement currency. They can have a settlement currency be like whatever they want it to be, XRP, XLM, for instance, right? And here you can see, again, like with this little blurb at the bottom, production, money, market, transaction executed digital assets week by Onera and Arcanix, and tomorrow next. So you can see Arcanix and Onera again, that relationship there. Okay, so you have that there. And then one other thing that I kind of wanted to have as far as a relationship here, I wanted us to look at, let me pull it up here. Tim Draper's son, um, he has his own company. It's called Boost VC. And let me share that with you right quick. Can you guys see Boost VC?
Yeah, it comes up with us white screen, OX, crypto. Yeah,
Okay,
some of the
so
things. Yeah.
so let's go to the top of this, and then we're going to look at the about us here
Yeah, we
of
see it.
Boost
Boost
VC.
VC. Yep.
And we see here Adam Draper. So this is obviously this is Tim Draper's son here. Maybe it's not obvious, but anyway. Adam Draper, a
Yeah.
fourth generation venture capitalist and two-time entrepreneur, serves as a founder and managing director of Boost VC. Prior to this, his success as an angel investor in companies like Coinbase, Bitcoin, Amplitude, and PlanGrid led to the inception of Boost VC. Some things to note here is a lot of what they say Boost does is some of the things that John Shin and his company kind of that they invest in. So you can kind of almost put a Swift connection there because this is kind of the same type of companies that John Shin and the guy from oh God, I can't remember his name. Shima Capital, like this is their like wheelhouse of companies. Boost VC is an early stage venture capital fund with 200 million under management in San Mateo, California, maintained by Adam Draper and Brayton Williams. We invest in 500K in deep tech pre-seed startups in aerospace, AR, VR, energy, climate, robotics, crypto, bio, AI, and machine learning, ocean materials, and more. We target startups raising 2 million or less. So now, if we get in here, what we're going to find is a ARK Invest connection, right? And I thought that was pretty interesting because Tim Draper was also said to be an initial investor in Tesla. And who do we know who's always big up for being an initial investor in Tesla? Kathy Wood, right, of ARK Invest. So it's very interesting there to see that connection. What does that mean? I have no idea. Could it mean that ARK Invest might have Draper money in it? I don't know. Can't say. But what I can tell you is Boost VC, which is ran by Draper's son, has a big ARK Invest connection, which we're going to look at here. So featured, one of their companies featured is 21 shares, but Also, if we look at a couple of the other crypto companies that are featured here, you will see some that have a Asian connection, if you will. If we go down, you'll find on this list. Well, also you'll see many different exchanges. Like I told you guys before, Tim Draper is initial investor in Coinbase and also in Gemini. But now you see also here buy, sell, and this is CoinHaku. Buy, sell digital assets in Singapore and Malaysia. And what it Underdog just show you, right? That Stellar Pay was based in Singapore, right?
Speaking
So
of Underdog, I'm sorry to cut you off.
no, no, no.
He has to take off here in like
Okay.
a couple minutes, so we're just gonna take a moment to at least give him a chance to, you know,
Yep, yep,
share
yep.
share some stuff with us and so on before he gets out of here. Hold on a second. Let me remove this for a second. There we go. Underdog, it's been an honor having you here. Obviously, give us a little heads up about your channel, your live show, your videos and so on. Great to have you here, sir.
Thanks, bro.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate being here. Sorry to have to leave out so quick. I have some investigative work to do, and I have to get it done at a certain time. And so I didn't have that much time tonight, but I was so enjoyed being here with you, Maximus, and Black Roo. Always, it's been great. Just to share one quick piece, folks, moving forward, there's some opportunities that are happening right now that hopefully that we'll cover. We got changes in legislation about cannabis that's going to probably affect the blockchain as well. Think about there's blockchain companies tied to cannabis. That's going to be some things that people need to look at. There's music industry opportunities that people are not talking about other than Opulus, which is one that came out a few years ago. Tokenization, real world assets between copyrights, ownerships, and money, and metaverse. One of the things I'm doing with my community is we don't just talk about it, we be about it. So we are creating a metaverse community where you actually get an avatar and you communicate using Web 3.0. Why stay and continue to do 2.0 and not understand how 3.0? That's kind of like the baby boomers who didn't want to learn the internet. We got to keep moving and innovating, right? So that's what's coming up. So I hope that you have opportunity to be a part of it. And I look forward to speaking with Maximus, Black Roo Investing, and thank you for having me here today.
You're very welcome. And Roo, thanks again for introducing Underdog Research channel. Guys, there's the channel. Give them a follow. You'd be glad that you did so. Great deep dive content.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good night.
You too.
Have a good one, bro.
All right. So what we're going to do is kick it back. Sorry about that. We're going to kick it back to you.
No problem.
And where you basically left off is right here, sir.
Okay. So yeah, like Underdog was sharing with us, Singapore seems to be and Asia seem to be a very big hub. And I shared with some of my guys before what Justin Sun said. Like he said in a post somewhere that China is really going to kick off the 2024 bull run. We have yet to see that, but remember the knowledge that Underdog dropped on us tonight. He said, imagine what's going to happen with China in quarter 4. I'm not so sure exactly what he meant by that, but that goes exactly to kind of the things that we've been researching with Swift, with China, with Justin Sun. It all comes back there, right? So again, so here's another exchange that Tim Draper is related to with via his son, CoinHaku here. Go down, there's a couple other exchanges on here. But yeah, and here we have Filecoin. They say they're located in San Francisco, but Filecoin's really big in Asia as well.
I'm big on Filecoin, my friend.
Yep, and here he is, like through Adam Draper, he's an investor in Filecoin.
That would be something we'll have to get more into, because you want to know something? I've always wanted to do more coverage in regards to Filecoin. Filecoin is one of my biggest bags, actually.
Okay, sounds good. So here we have Monero too. And we always hear about it being a privacy coin, but apparently they're invested in Monero as well.
Wow.
And of course, like I told you guys before, Gemini, um,
Well, the common
Polkadot.
thing here, the common thing basically for everybody that's just tuning in, what do we see here? Common ground, and that is VCs. You know, a lot of these ones start off as VCs, and you can clearly see that. I mean, especially when you talk about Gemini back in the day, right? And how they came about.
Right. So like you can see here, like with all of those, and here are actually two even other VC firms, Polychain Capital and Protocol Labs. So there's a lot of connection here with Draper and a lot of what's going on in crypto. Like we just said Filecoin, we just said Gemini, we just here we go Scale. Like the connections just go on and on and on and on and on. But the reason that we were here is ARK Invest, right? So 21 shares, back to that 21 shares. The world's first listed crypto index product, 21 shares in Switzerland. If we go click on that, and we'll wait for it to pop up, and I'll share that tab.
Yep, it's on the tab.
So you can see here, available now, ARK 21 shares Bitcoin ETF. So 21 shares, their major product is the ARK Invest ETF. Like so, this like really blew my mind, right? So this is directly connecting Draper with ARK Invest, who Kathy Wood being another initial investor in Tesla, right? So yeah, this kind of really blew my mind when I figured out that 21 shares, their solutions were um, getting people into the ARK Invest ETF. So
Very impressive to say the
yeah.
least, man. Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of hit you guys with those two pieces of information. Again, with the backdrop of Tim Draper being an initial investor in Coinbase and Coinbase having that connection with Stellar via USDC, and then Tim Draper also through Draper Dragons owning Swift. So there are connections there, other than what Underdog mentioned with Tim Draper to Stellar and Swift. Okay, so it's not, if you put all of that together, we can really see there that Swift could kind of be a conduit for Draper and others to have money go through the whole cryptoverse, if you will.
Man, you and Underdog tonight. Great research, my friend. Awesome stuff. I don't know if you have anything else you're wanting to share, but man,
Oh no, that's it. That's it.
very, very cool. We'll give you another plug here in just a bit. We're going to take a pause for just a moment, you guys, to see that we had some super chats come in. Can't thank you guys enough for that because it really does help. We're going to get into it. It is from the one and only Henry Brown with a $2 super chat. Didn't have to wait too long. I mean, this is at 6:54, 7:06 my time. Me and Rue, we're on the same time. So thank you for the $2 super chat, Henry. Really do appreciate that. He says, get those likes up, hit the dollar button, or whatever it is, right? Like button. Let's go, champ. Thank you so much. Well, Rue is the champ tonight. Underdog's the research champ tonight. Give them both a follow, guys. They deserve it. These guys that take the time, just like myself too, bring you guys the deep dive content. As you guys know, it's very time consuming, but we enjoy doing it. We're very passionate about doing it and so on. You can see that, right? You can see the enthusiasm. You guys obviously appreciate this type of content, so why wouldn't we talk about some of these things? But yeah, thank you so much, Henry Brown. Really do appreciate that. I'm gonna see who else is also basically in the comments. Obviously, Richie Rich, good to see you again. Triple C in the house. What is this? Corey Bebe. Lou Diamond Phillips would give that one, I guess, 2 thumbs up or something. Interesting. Good old Lou Diamond Phillips, right? Back in the day, Young Guns. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. I used to love watching those movies back as a kid. Like when I was a kid, I remember when those movies came out, I was just like, everybody wanted, either be Billy the Kid or some of these other guys. No one wanted to be Pat Garrett, though, right? Forget Pat Garrett. Pat Garrett scat. All right. Anyway.
Wasn't Lou Diamond Phillips in this like little known movie called Only the Strong? You ever remember seeing that? Where they did like Brazilian like capoeira and all of that in there?
I don't remember that. Interesting. I also remember him playing as Richie Valens the song, but anyway.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Whoa. Elon, interesting comment about a little. Wow, I'm not gonna highlight that one. All right. Elizabeth De La Cruz. Welcome, glad to have you here. And let's see here. Yeah, Mike, I gotta get that fixed. It's the guy I watched that did a tutorial about how to do those custom icons. Like, there's some things that he left out, but I'll get it straightened out. It just takes time. Let's read this comment from G. Actually, you can read it since he's,
I'm keeping my eye out on Swift and Metapath in case Metapath decides to launch a coin, which I'm almost convinced they will soon. Actually, I should say a little bit about Metapath.
Sure.
Shout out to G. He's a frequent watcher, man, and a frequent sharer of information. Thank you, G, for coming through, bro. Metapath, if you guys are not aware, Metapath is like another company ran by Swift that's all about NFTs. Okay. But they do all the cross platform stuff that Swift does because it's built with Swift technology. So basically, what a Metapath allows Swift to do is cross chain any type of any NFT. So literally, they can cross chain tokenize whatever with Metapath via Swift.
Lots more Swift connections, obviously, right?
Insane, guys, to think about that. Just so insane to think about it. So imagine if they get Onera connected up with everything. Onera can now send their real estate to any of the coins that Swift supports via Metapath. And Swift supports like 800 cryptos, like so many different crypto networks, some that people really don't even talk about, like Thundercore and all that. It's amazing to think about.
That might be one that we get more into it. Onera, Swift Coin, and so on, or Swift blockchain. Because my thing is like I hold Relio, right? I don't have Propy, tomato, right? Different way of pronouncing it. But the way I look at it is, those connected to RWA. Obviously, another thing I talk about is Clearpool, Cpool, and RWA is literally been killing it all the way up until recently with the market, having a bloodbath. But would be really interesting to get into that as well,
And it's funny you mentioned that Propy. Tim Draper owns a piece of that.
Nice. I'm leaning towards, I would always call it Propy, but I'm thinking, okay, my property's not called property. Right?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
huh? Like, but then, it's okay. Tomato, right? Anyway.
Right.
Would you like to buy my property? Huh?
What?
Property scam. Right? Anyway, I'm kidding.
It sounds like something a Valley girl says when she's drunk. Would
Right?
you like to buy my property?
Yeah.
Come on, it's cheese.
Let's tokenize it, right? Yeah. Anyway.
Let's tokenize that.
That's good stuff. All right, let's read this from G saying what's up to you. Vibra Finance. Vibra in the house, man. He says he still has his block card from Turnia, lol. That was the biggest piece of ish. It was years ahead of its time. Well,
Oh, nice.
maybe at some point when it comes to some of this stuff, like we'll have vintage pieces of blockchain history. You ever look at it from that perspective? Like, I just saw it recently. I don't know if you saw the news about it, Rue. there was somebody in the background at a live press or a C-SPAN event where they were talking about, like, I think it was Bitcoin during the first cycle. So we just did the fourth cycle for the halving, right?
Hmm.
And so there's these two younger guys back then, and one of them had a sign behind, like, I don't know, somebody that was either senator or, a member of the House, right? And it says buy Bitcoin. And he had it written on something. And then whatever that was, that auction supposedly for like $1 million, right? I don't know if
Yes, I heard.
yeah.
The investor of Morgan Creek, Mark Yusko, he said he had that guy make him a replica of that sign, the actual person who made it, and he bought it and like he has it framed in his office or something like that.
No, I think that's cool. I mean, like I know people from the past, like the old newspapers, what is it? Like it says war, Japan, December 7th, 1941, stuff like that, or, Japan surrenders, VJ Day and stuff like that. It's like if we have pieces of history like that, why won't we have pieces of history for like, this next era, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you might want to hold on to that Viber if you're still watching. Maybe you're not. Anyway, but thank you. Good comment. Let's welcome the one and only April Cornwall. She says, "Hey, Max and guest, thanks for being here, April. Hey, hey, hey." Or as you would say, hey, hey. Anyway, Boomer's giving a shout out to April. Glad to hear that Boomer is still alive. April, Mike Cornwall, right? The whole gang. I mean, you guys had big tornadoes up in Oklahoma, and it's scary, you know? All right. Boomer says doing good, gearing up for more possible bumpy weather tomorrow. My God, as if you guys didn't have enough of getting slammed with all this to get more. Jeez. Well, thoughts and prayers with you guys for sure. All right, so I already read this earlier. Crypt
What's up,
dash
Crips
work.
Work?
Yeah,
A loyal supporter, one of the few like loyal lady watchers on the channel. Appreciate you, Crips Work. Thanks for coming through.
appreciate it. Yes, absolutely, guys. We just ticked up to 200. Really do appreciate the numbers that we had tonight. It's nice, right? Especially since I've only done one show since last week when it was on a Monday, and here we are on Wednesday. So it's more than appreciated. I am going to get back into the regular, um, you know, rotation of things and so on. I had a lot of personal stuff to deal with, but we get through it. All right, let's welcome this guy back. Haven't seen you in a while, but I always remember how your name is because it's, JHFJHFKF. You're like, screw it. I'm not gonna freaking type a name on my keyboard. I'm just gonna like spray stuff on my keyboard, and whatever comes out, that's what's gonna come out, and that's what you're gonna refer to me as. Well, welcome back, man. I do remember you. And Mike Main, welcome back. Welcome back. Corey
What's up, Mike
B-Bay.
Main?
Yeah.
Another frequent watcher. Appreciate you, brother.
Nice. Henry Brown gifted a membership. Who won the membership? Let's see. Does it even show? Well, it was Beeps. Corey Beebe was gifted a membership from Henry Brown. Awesome. Well, congratulations and thank you once again to Henry Brown with the gifted membership, and he did thank him, so that's cool. Very cool stuff. Boomer is ahead of Tim Shea tonight when it comes to sharing the channels. Thank you for that, Boomer. That's awesome. Look at that. There's you.
Boom.
Yeah. Um, let's see here. Let's go further down. Back to Lou Diamond Phillips. That's cool. All right. I'll leave this for you. This is from Chris. I've seen you here before, Chris. I have shared my thoughts on XCN before, but I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Do you have thoughts on
No, I actually
XCN?
like XEN a lot. They've been like Visa has been using them for a long time, like right now to process payments. Like I found like a news article from like 2016 saying that they use XCN. So, huge, huge, huge. And you can buy it on Coinbase. You can buy it almost everywhere. So, I like XCN. Can't confirm or deny, but I might have over 1 million tokens. I probably want more, but yeah, I really like XCN.
Very cool. Let's read this from Corey Beebe in a stereotypical voice. Max, I was listening to Rob and Jesse. Yesterday, and Jesse brought up something interesting about Satoshi sharing a birthday, I believe, with JASMY.
Ooh.
I am sure you are already aware of this. Well, not really, but, with Satoshi? Huh. All right, we can look more into it at some point. All right, let's see. You guys having good comments here, getting some old school comments. I mean, come on, if we're bringing up Blue Diamond Phillips, right? We're really bringing back the 80s.
And see, I thought it was Lou Diamond Phillips, but it was actually Mark DeCascos who was in Only Just John. They kind of look a little bit alike. They're both
Oh, okay.
like they have Asian like features.
I
So
hear you. I hear you. Not to throw Mike Cornwell under the bus. Had this conversation with him either earlier today or last night. Can't remember. And it was just like, yeah, Max, you look like all the other Mexicans. And I'm like, what? I'm not Mexican. He's like, oh, well, my bad. You look like everybody else. I'm like, thank you for that, bro.
oh man.
But I am 1/4 Spanish. But anyway, close enough, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. I'm an eighth Irish, so hey.
There you go.
People probably wouldn't know
Right.
that looking at me, but yeah.
Well, I'm basically everything, the way I look at it. I'm a mutt. So,
Right.
yeah. All right, let's go further down. What do we got? We got some of you guys got some rumors, good stuff. SPL's back. This is XLM. Hopefully, SPL, you were able to tune in when Underdog was here. That was a surprise, Rue. I'll be honest with you. I was just thinking, Swiftcoin, but we did originally mention, I think, the first time we talked about Swiftcoin and the XLM connection. So I'm glad he, elaborated on it. But,
Yeah.
it's all good. We could have tagged XLM on top of that. It is what it is. But that's awesome. Obviously, when I go to chop it up later, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Like that's the real dark horse part of everything. Like when you look at Swift, it's the whole breaks connection. But when you realize that Stellar also connects too, that connects it to all the ISO, basically. All the ISO like 2002 coins. Then it's just like, okay, what like you can send to anything then. Then you got bricks on lockdown, and then you have all the ISO on lockdown. So you got everything at that point.
I always tell guys or everybody, right? I tell them, I was like, technically, even before I knew about ISO standards and the significance of ISO 222, I said Stellar was my first ISO coin. And it's like, yeah, overpaid for it when I first got my first bag, like in the 26 cent region. Did I just all of a sudden be like, yeah, you know what? I give up on this. No, he's still DCA, So
Yeah, even 26 isn't that bad when you consider it's like been as high as like what 90 or more.
or when you really consider like the long term outlook for the thing,
Well,
right?
yeah, that too.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. And
Yeah,
I mean, one of the best bags I ever bought for it was like around 7 or 8 cents. So like,
nice.
I'm still not in the profits, but like I'm not giving up on it. You know what I mean? So. All right, XXI Gaming, glad to have you. He says, fact storms everywhere lately. That's right, you're in OKC. Forgot about that. I always keep thinking like you're, like in Indiana or some other place, but that's right, you're from there, but you currently live in OKC. So interesting. All right. He loves the channel. Thanks, man. No problem. I always give you crap about it, right? GHF. You know what I mean? Let's take your keyboard and just spray on whatever is on there, Like Bill O'Reilly back in the day, F it, do it live, freaking random freaking name, right? All right. Let's read this from Boomer F. Center. Celebs always stopped in for promotional stuff. Although Lou Diamond's wife at the time was from Oklahoma, most of the Costner's family lives in Oklahoma.
Oh
I have,
wow.
yeah, that is a wow. I have not started Yellowstone or the prequel or some of the other ones, the spin-offs. I'm looking forward to getting to all of it. Looks like it's gonna be a really cool show. So, let's welcome Peas Saturn. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It says hello, Max and Rue. That's a cute pug, man. I miss my little pug, but Meatball. That's not Meatball, but that's a cute pug. All right. Tizzo, XCN isn't a payment processor. You want to comment on that for a second? Not try to put you on the spot.
It's not a payment processor, but Visa uses it to process payments. Just type in Visa and XCN. Onyx Coin. You'll find all the articles.
Here's another question for you, not to put you on the spot again, but it's back to back. Literally the next comment from Beebs. He says, "Rule is the connection between JP Morgan and XCN."
No. XCN is called Onyx Coin. JP Morgan has their own coin called Onyx Coin, and people get those two mixed up. But as far as I know, they have no connection. So they're two separate Onyx coins.
Oh, really? So I guess it is true. It's just a pet rock then, right? You know, Jamie Dimon, right? All crypto is just a pet rock.
Yeah, that
As
guy.
he secretly purchased on the weekend a whole bunch of BTC. Give me a break, right? A lot of BTC. Remember when that happened?
And Consensus basically owns a lot of Ethereum's uh, big stuff, and Consensus is partly owned by JP Morgan. So it's like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth there, Jamie.
Yeah, he's institutional hypocrites, you know. It's just like these guys do so much manipulation when you really think about it, you know. I'm gonna tell all my employees, you better not own any freaking BTC. Otherwise there could be repercussions. Okay. So you just load up more for yourself? Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
Aaron S., welcome. He says, do you guys have any insight how tokenizing billions of dollars technically moves price? For example, with HBAR, what would 25 billion equate to in price action? I think that is the $1 million question. That's a great question. I guess I'll go first on it. So the way I look at it is, you know, putting a lot of that, even when it comes to not even the full face value of it, any percentage of that being put on blockchain will move the market at some particular point. On the low end, I don't really see that, you know, but also other things come into factor. You know, the tokenomics of these particular coins. So would, you know, on the surface, right? I know this is kind of a little bit more bonus coverage, but, you know, we can pull up HBAR, and the beautiful thing about understanding some of this stuff, let's just go ahead and, you know, share this, for example. Present, let me do a stop screen. Sorry about that. So what we're going to do is pull this up for a second. So you will see, for example, that you have tokenomics, right? And the tokenomics of HBAR, hopefully you see this on the screen. Let's full screen it. So on HBAR's tokenomics, you see that there's a total supply, just like Stellar, pretty much, right? You have 50 billion. Yeah, 9 zeros, and then the number is, okay, so that's billions. So 50 billion. You have 71% in circulation. So it's not like, you know, like the saying goes, you're too far off from the 80% mark of, like, you know, people always worry about the project dumping on, you know, dump into the supply and diluting the value and all that stuff. I get it. We're not quite at 80%, but we're also, for the most part, still in a bull market, even though there's a lot of things bleeding overall. But I want you to understand that when it comes to taking on 25 billion on a project like HBAR, compared to other projects like, you know, let's use another example. I'll show you guys something real quick here. Not that they can do it, but here's a good example. Let's take BTT, right? Why are you doing this? This is apples and oranges. No, it's not. Just hear me out. So here's BTT. Look at this. This is trillions. So what one would shine more when it comes to tokenization and seeing price impact? Back to what you're saying. Well, the answer would be HBAR. Now, I understand there's other things that we have to take into account, right? Like connections, partnerships, what they're really doing with tokenization and so on. But I'm looking at it from the perspective of kind of like what we mentioned before when it comes to, and I know that I use this example a lot, Olympic-sized swimming pools. If you have an example of, you know, it's like, all right, there's this deep end, there's all this water, and we just added a whole bunch of extra water to that, like 25% to that deep end. And then, you know, you take that same pool on the other side, and that pool is actually way deeper. Okay, which one is going to make an impact as far as what you just put on chain? Well, the answer would be HBAR. because of tokenomics. You're literally dealing with 50 billion of the actual coins. Where on this case with BTT, I mean, what do we have here, Rue? We have 900 and, or I should say, yeah, 968 trillion. That's a huge difference going from billions to trillions. So my key takeaway is to answer this question. That is, you know, would the price move? Yeah, you better believe on projects like HBAR, Stellar, which has similar tokenomics, you will see that move. You should see price action. But I'm more interested when you consistently see it when we get a full mandate. Obviously, ISO 222. We know that Hedera is part of that mix of the ISOs, and that's going to stand out. We obviously understand that there's a FedNow connection. I remember when Rue, remember that when we did the coverage about FedNow and Hedera and so on. I remember doing that. So, but great question, and you do feel as though that's $1 million question. Yeah, the thing is this: for people who haven't researched this stuff, they always look at the current price. They always look at, oh, I'm only interested in what's in front of me right now. You can't look past this. That's just a visual, but you can always tell people who haven't done the proper research. And it's no knock on anybody, but it's not that people were lazy. Maybe some cases they are, but look more into the long-term vision. We're not even close yet to where we should be when it comes to mandates. That's what's going to interest me the most, or I say it's currently interesting me the most. Mandates all the way. JASMY recently with some of the things that was mentioned. What's his name? Taro Kono, former defense minister. Digital finance minister currently speaking. So the way I look at it is when he mentions things like IC cars being a mandate, okay, and we are going gangbusters for the private sector. All right. Who's the first to be regulatory compliant? It's JASMY. Huh. And they already have what? They have all these connections. SBI, you name it. Genkiota, FSA, JVCEA. It's like, and was he also part of BitPoint? And why is that significant? Because back in 2017, he himself was responsible for blanketing not just Tokyo, but many other areas of these BitPoint ATMs all across the country. And it's a touch screen, I guess you could say sensor to select BTC. Well, right next to that, you could have a touch screen thing to protect what? Your data. Oh, I need a personal data locker. Boom. Here's the option right next to that. And they're already heavily invested into JASMY. It's a no-brainer for me. That's another example of tokenization in a different form. All right, let's see here. We got
And if I can just add to that one a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another thing I see is like how that's going to impact things is we're going to get like secondary things that happen, like these coins themselves getting tokenized as far as like ETFs go. And look no further than Grayscale, in which they have already a Stellar trust, they have a Solana trust, they have a Bitcoin trust, of course, an Ethereum trust, a Litecoin trust. How like pretty soon, I'm sure we see at some point an HBAR trust. As far as I know, I don't know that they have HBAR in a trust. They might have it in one of their like large cap crypto trusts to like 5%. But if they give it its own trust, that's probably gonna, to me, that says that they think it's an asset that they should hold on to that's going to increase in value, like they already do with Stellar, right? So I think as Hedera tokenizes more things like BlackRock and stuff like that, BlackRock funds, I think the more that some organization will, like a Grayscale, will come through and say, okay, now we want to have a Hedera trust or a Hedera ETF, and that's something we could be looking forward to coming soon. Because think Stellar with Franklin Templeton, they were kind of the first to tokenize stuff, right? So I'm sure that Grayscale saw that and was like, okay, maybe this is a reason to have a Stellar Trust. And I don't know when they started their Stellar Trust, but they have one. So yeah.
Hmm. Good intel. Let's read this from Timodon, if I pronounced that right. He says, "Hey, you guys. Hey. Glad to have you."
Yo,
Let's read this from Beebs. He says, "Max and Rule, are you bullish on Aerodrome?" I don't know about Aerodrome, to be honest, so I
me
can't.
neither.
Yeah, I don't know about everything. That might be like scam. You guys don't know about that? Oh my God! I can't believe you don't know about that. Well, there's things that I know about that you don't know about, right? That's just the way it goes. So, on the surface, you can list why you feel, you want to ask that. I mean, obviously, you're probably bullish on it. What stands out on the surface? Give us something like 10, 15 seconds of what stands out, like a sentence. All right. Raz and X, hi Sir Max, and Sir Rue. Thank you so
Yep.
much. There's only one other guy that types like that, which is shout out to our brother Rafael Santos, right? He always says, Sir Max and Sir whoever. But thank you. Let's read this from Aaron S. Yeah, I think a lot of people get the idea that 25 billion is somehow adding 25 billion to H bar price, but that is not possible. That would basically mean spending 25 billion to tokenize 25 billion. Hedera is supposed to be cheap. So he assumes it is a very small percentage of that 25 billion with trillions through it should be much higher than you would think. Yeah, see, that's a good thing that you're mentioning. People need to understand there's a difference between the dollar value and what actually goes on chain. This is where like why we can get so excited about talking about BlackRock and State Street, Vanguard, and, all these big institutions. I always point out like, okay, BlackRock is 10 trillion. That doesn't mean that all 10 trillion is going to be put on chain, but could we see 10% of their assets be put on chain? And if the answer is yes, then holy cow, that's a lot. What about 20 other institutions, what they bring in? Now you're starting to talk about trillions then from that point, because when you add that all up, okay, that makes sense. You're not going to have the current full face value, right, Rue, of all of these 100% put on chain, because that's just not
Right.
realistic, Just
Right.
like whatever fiat we have in the real world is still going to be fiat that's in the real world. Kind of like what Elon Musk mentioned is like, it's not that it's going away completely, right? We
No, it's
may
not.
get to the point where, as time goes by, um, it's like instead of having 50%, which is on blockchain and 50% that's, still in physical form is there, but we're not even close to that. We have certain countries that might have a higher ratio of, like, was it Ukraine? You know, I think it's a little bit more than 50-50. Even before the war, Ukraine was one of the top countries that embraced crypto and was actually using it. As we say, utility in motion. Like it's different cases. Even without wars, look at the UAE, look at Singapore, so on and so forth, right? But I think we're gonna get there. But as far as 25 billion, yeah, here's 25 billion dollars, and some people are like, yeah, not much price movement and so on, and I just don't see this. Again, it's not at face value for 100% of that value. I'm glad you understand that. I'll read a couple more comments. Beeps is asking, he wonders if XCN is still partnered with Citibank and NASDAQ. You want to chime in on that?
As far as I know, I saw that it was partnered with them. So as far as I know, that's still a thing.
Cool stuff. All right, Aaron S. got some great comments tonight. He's super bullish on HBAR. He just thinks that the real question everyone should be addressing more. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with what you mentioned. By cheap, he means cost effective for the companies using it. Okay.
Yep. And remember, like all the people they have governing it, right, are the hugest companies in the world.
The most impressive governing council of just about anything out there. I'm not even just talking about blockchain, but just period.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it from the bigger picture. All right, let's see here. Hard announced JASMY started the 100,000 token lockup today. Yep, I did retweet that. I'll probably get more into that when I come back with you guys. Hopefully it's tomorrow. I really hope that you know, don't have to deal with toxic people tomorrow, to say the least.
Yeah, I know what you mean,
Anyway,
brother. I know what you mean.
just in case the toxic person's watching right now. Anyway. All right, let's see here. Issue Noel. Hey, what are your thoughts on SGB and DAG? I think DAG's solid. I'm guilty of not owning it, but there's a lot of solid things I'm not into yet. I think you have DAG, don't you?
I do have DAG.
Yeah.
I know they had some news where Ben Jorgensen, or I think that's his name, their president, was saying that they had a collaboration to announce, and they were going to announce it like yesterday, but then he was like, "Okay, we can't announce." Our partner told us that we couldn't announce yesterday. It's still happening, but we're going to announce it in 2 weeks. So that seems pretty cool. They have a Constellation bridge so that they can bridge to other blockchains. So this is kind of in conjunction with that's happening right now, this news. And if you look at kind of DAG, it's like a layer zero technically with DAG technology. Seems pretty cool. Like in all the interviews that I've seen about them, like with them, I've liked their interviews. So yeah, I like DAG, and of course, Songbird is the canary network of Flare. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool for those who might want a cheaper Flare. Um, I own that too, as well as Flare. So yeah.
Yeah, I get requests every now and then about covering Songbird. But yeah, I think Songbird is also good as well. I do try to cover. I need to cover Velo, Tomato, a little bit more. Obviously, I cover SHX. So, but some great questions. Thank you for that. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing your name right. Issue. Trust Truth. What do you think the connection of OSIS network and FB and Instagram and building towards privacy and digital IDs? Are you aware of that?
Yes, I know that Oasis had a connection with Facebook. I believe the CEO of Oasis, which is Dawn Song, um, she used to be Zuckerberg's wife's teacher in college, um, and they did do like some AI work for Facebook. But I thought they were going to be bigger connected with Facebook, but it seems like Oasis made kind of more of a switch to like being focused mostly on privacy, and being kind of like a D app for privacy onto Ethereum, and that's cool. Um, I like Oasis, and I still like Oasis. If you look, they got, I think, if you look on CryptoRank.io, they had like 50 million in funding, um, and I think there's also maybe like a Draper connection there too with those guys because they're like kind of based on that, or they seem to have some connection to that side of the world. Yeah, I like Oasis, but there's some things that I like ahead of it, but I do like it.
All right. We don't do this all the time. I mean, I don't mind doing this. I think a minimum of $1 personally, and not financial advice. But another thing that's really attractive about Swiftcoin is like, so as we know, when it comes to like XRP, you have 100 billion XRP. Stellar and H bar are 50 billion. Swiftcoin, on the other hand, is literally 10 billion. So it's like, geez, that's significantly lower supply than even Stellar. Um, as the saying goes, we look at Swiftcoin as being like Chinese XRP. So if you have this use case of like, all these chain swaths and so on, and that huge grocery list on the first show that, Rue and I did about Swiftcoin. And I mean, my God, he even had JASMY listed, right? And it's just like,
Yep.
all right, well,
Yep.
when it finally comes together, and it will come together, there's no way VCs are putting their money into this for nothing. They could give two craps about retail narrative on any of this stuff. That is a common thing across the board when it comes to when we talk about some of this stuff. They could care less about, this guy on social media or on X was like, price is not moving. They could care less about that. They don't pay attention to that stuff. But VCs will take the deep dives into the things, right? They have a board of people that keep up with all this stuff. And then crying out loud, you have Tim Draper. And the other examples, what was it today from you, Rue, about, was it Adam Draper and so on?
Yeah.
So, okay, Draper and Associates, um, God, I mean, probably one of the best examples of, when we talk about, like, our BlackRock institutions of the world, you should kind of look at Draper and Associates as like your VC funding, powerhouse of the world, in that light. So they're not going to be messing around with anything that isn't there. And we're seeing some things. Obviously, the research from Underdog with what he presented in regards to Stellar, that's incredibly interesting. And I'll even have to go back and watch that again myself. I thought that was some straight fire alpha right there. But to answer your question, to be conservative, I'm going with at least $1. But in reality, it all depends on how long you're willing to hold the asset, and understanding when mass adoption kicks in. You may not see obviously $1 for Swiftcoin tomorrow, of course not. But look at the prices. This pullback, a lot of people have been shooken out once again. And I'll give you guys some bonus coverage. Rue is welcome to stay around if you want. I mean, you don't have to, but it's just in regards to investor plays. But there's a lot of fear being created again, because people see, oh my God, look at what Bitcoin, like right here. I mean, let's just go ahead and share it real quick. BTC is literally at below 60K. I'm out. All right, that's exactly what these institutions were hoping for. They're not going to come out and say it, but that's exactly what's going on. It's the shakeout. I mean, we talk about shakeout. Literally, it is as it sounds. Like, you ever go up to like an apple tree, or an apple orchard. I remember as a kid, especially from Oregon, Washington, Oregon. I mean, there's orchards of these things everywhere. And literally, it's just like when I would go, on field trips as a little kid. It's just like you go up to the tree, you shake it. Why? Because it's that effect, all that coming down. Well, they're going to keep, or beating the crap out of a gnat. It's just like.
Sorry, I think I nailed it too. I
Yeah.
got it. I so got it.
I guess
Sorry, guys.
around. No, that's all right. That was a nice one anyway. But it is a shakeout, and it's not gonna stop happening. It's gonna happen continuously. All right, let's read this from G.
And can I add to that, Max?
Yeah, go ahead.
Definitely go and check out Underdog Research's billionaire blueprint. He literally laid out almost 8 billionaires being connected to Swift and MetaPath. Okay, like insane, and it's down there somewhere.
Is it on the live section or the video section?
I'm gonna say videos.
Okay, hold on. So let's pull that up.
Okay, yeah. So see the full plan, and you see those 8 faces there.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of these. I haven't got to the last one. So you're talking about the full plan, or the part 1, part 2, part 3?
Full plan.
Full plan. Okay.
So you see like those 8 faces there. Tim Draper is one of them.
Yeah, far left. You're right.
Another one is I can't remember his name. Something Gao, and he's the owner of Shima Capital. If you guys go into like cryptorank.com, you will see that these are VC firms that you can and we can do it here if Max wants, if we have a little time.
Sure.
So you got Tim Draper there. You have Gao of Shima Capital. You have John Shen there. You have Johannes Roetz of Dragonfly Capital. So you got multiple billionaires who are connected to this, and you can go to Underdog's channel to see some more information on that. But and you got Bill Ackman there. People should know Bill Ackman and Pershing Square. Multiple billionaires connected to this project. And Underdog did the research in finding that Shima Capital did kind of like an undisclosed investment to MetaPath, and he connects how MetaPath is completely connected to Swift, and MetaPath is one of the wallets that Swift supports. But when you look deeper into it, you find out that Christina Shen and Bo Ramble both own MetaPath as well as Swift. So all of that to say, can you see a dollar for sure? Yeah, but my first target, my first price point is 33 cents. That's what I'm looking at. Someone compared Swift's price movement to Harmony One's of last bull run, and I really like to look at precedent. I really love looking at precedent. Um, so given that precedent, I'm thinking at least like there. Not financial advice or anything, but just what I'm thinking based on like my portfolio and what I've seen of Harmony One's price movement.
Absolutely, guys. Check out Underdog Research channel. I know he's not with us right now, but he had to go earlier. But here's his channel. He was with us for the first segment and so on. And yeah, just how it sounds. Underdog Research channel. I mean, crown. Wow, this guy's a professional forensics researcher.
Scientist. Yeah.
He's an actual forensic scientist. He said.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. He does crypto. I mean,
sorry,
come on.
Forensic. I think forensic analyst.
Analyst.
Yeah.
Well, whatever the case be, he works in forensics.
Yeah.
That's it's like, geez. I mean, talking about somebody who does the investigative work, right? The
Right.
deep dives, connect the dots, right? Yeah. So very cool. And again, here's Rue's. Here's his particular channel. Obviously, you can follow him also on X at Black Rue as well. So we're gonna leave that up there for a bit. Let's see here. Let's read this real quick from G. Hold on, let me remove this real quick. There we go. So yeah, G says, guys, don't forget that Swiftcoin also formed a partnership with Stellar's Moby. The only issue is that with that partnership is that he thinks Moby is now dead, but it was focused on payments, blockchains, Stripe. That's a great analogy.
Nice.
Yeah. Ernest Velo is becoming one of his bullish tokens. We'll have content on it if you get around to it. Yeah, I've done content in the past about it. I'll try to do it again. How about you? Do you cover Velo?
I've covered it a little bit, but I know shout out to Red Pill Professional. He does a lot of good content on it.
Yeah, he
So
does. I agree.
yeah,
I'm familiar with him.
so I watch his stuff, and I might occasionally comment on my channel if something's good. But yeah, I like Velo a lot,
You like it
and
a lot.
I do own Velo.
Awesome. All right, let's see here. We're gonna go further down. Might not get okay. Well, I guess we could read a few more. G says Jeb Caleb from Stellar was an advisor to Moby, Swiftcoin's partner. Interesting. Beeves looking at a project called RSC, backed by Brian Armstrong, up 200x from its lows. My God. River seems like you always hear a dollar for many projects. You can only hope. Yeah, I hear you on that, man. I mean, my thing is just, it's like when you say Chinese XRP, I mean, I'm honestly trying to be conservative about that. I'm not trying to, come up with like some crazy numbers. And some people may think that is crazy numbers, and that's okay too. All right. Rue would say 33 cents. Illuminati confirmed. All right.
Yeah, he knows. He knows what's up. That's right, G. I would say that.
Well, we have one last segment. It's just a little bonus I thought we'd do with you guys. It's kind of debating on do it tonight. You're welcome to stick around if you want, Rue, for this bonus segment. It's just a special coverage from Investor Place. If you have to get going, I totally understand.
How long is it?
It's probably gonna go maybe 20 minutes or so. So
Oh yeah, I'll stick around.
Okay. Yeah, it's not gonna be super long. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. It's a midweek report, so it's not super outdated for some of you guys who are like, oh, this is just gonna be super, outdated. Not really. So hold on a second. I gotta log into this. I had it logged in earlier, but log me out. Give me a second. All right. pull this up. Let's get into this. All right. Yes. All right, so let me see how long this is again. Yeah, it's actually a video. Um, but hold on a second. Let me pull up another thing. I don't know. I don't know if I'll play this whole thing. Might save some of it tomorrow. Yeah, because if I play this video, then it's going to be too long. So I'm just going to get into this part. So I'll bring you guys probably the video portion tomorrow, if I'm with you tomorrow. Okay. Let's go ahead and zoom in. All right. Let's go ahead and present this. Let's see. All right, so typically speaking, guys, we do investor place coverage at the beginning, but we have special guests. I'm not going to do investor place coverage and make them all wait. That would be ridiculous, right? So I'm going to go ahead and full screen this. Let's get into it. Let's give you some of that investor place coverage. There's a lot of doom and gloom going on as we speak, but nice to hear a different perspective. And that is, like it says, you know, weekly update, Bitcoin 100K by the summer. We think so. This is not just based just like strictly on opinion of we think so. They have something to back that up. I've shared a little bit of this with Mike Cornwell, Will Fix, and so on. But like it says, welcome to the calm before the storm. The storm, hiring cryptos. As you guys know, this is you know, some of the premium stuff that I pay for on a yearly basis. But basically speaking, what is this referring to? It's this whole thing of technical signals suggesting that they're primed for the next leg up, basically, in this rally. And I know some of you guys are like, rally? The freaking market's bleeding. Well, it's not going to just bleed forever, right? We know that. Just like a market won't pump forever. But they feel as though Bitcoin as a BTC, 100K by summer. Why is that? Well, they feel as though that even though it was a flat week last week for cryptos, they don't think that the flatness will last. Work from theirs suggests cryptos are about to surge higher into the summer. They have fundamentals in regards to this shift. And you guys saw earlier, you know, you saw Jerome Powell with some of his news. But, you know, this whole thing about this concept of disinflation, rate cut hopes, so on and so forth, how this shift should benefit crypto. All right, so this part, it says, reality is that inflation did not pick up steam in February and March, but it lost that steam entirely in April. Commodity prices have broadly eased in April, and they have this whole thing about the data. What does the data say? Well, it suggests that businesses are reducing prices because their customers are refusing to pay up. You have this particular thing from Trueflation. So you guys have visited that site. Great site. Gives you accurate data, but they have stated that the USA daily Trueflation rate shows that inflation has collapsed in April and is returning its previous lows from earlier February. Some of you guys that tuned into the whole thing with Jerome Powell, you kind of really had an idea of what he had to say about it. You didn't necessarily see a lot of visualizations, a little bit, right? So here's a visual for you. And going further down, in regards to last March, that report in regards to inflation basically mentions this whole thing of, you know, personal consumption expenditures. Going forward, Investor Place feels as though that it will start to see this whole thing of more detail of the inflation reports. You guys saw a little bit again from the Fed with that, you know, that public address. But, you know, they feel as though that, you know, inflation pressures did ease in April. They feel as though that May will look a lot different than how they looked in April. Will be soft, not hot, but do we have actual data, something to show you? Yes, we do. So while the Fed is still guiding for about 75 basis point cuts in 2024, the futures market has gone from pricing in something similar at the start of April to just about 35 basis points cuts, as in, you know, a few days ago. Massive reduction in rate cut bets has significantly weighed on risk sentiment. sentiment, excuse me, which in turn has acted as a headwind for crypto prices. And then here this is a reference from Bloomberg. You can see kind of like how that went, basically from last June all the way up to where we're at now in 2024. Do you feel bullish? Well, we'll get there. Do you feel as though that the trend will likely reverse course in May? We are now at basically, May 1st, right? But rate hike fears, guys, how they will become, how everything will come out from this. What kind of hope do you have? But bearish sentiment will turn bullish. Again, understand things won't be bearish all the time. It's not just a giant leap off a cliff, guys. Don't get shaken out. But all risk assets, cryptos included, should benefit. This is awesome. We need to see some good news for a change. They, as an investor place, really like the macroeconomic backdrop for cryptos here. Here's a little bit more of a reference. They feel as though BTC continues to act exactly as it should around the halving event. And guys, I'm glad to share this with you because, we are post-halving now, shortly right after that. And Investor Place feels as though that they believe it's inevitable that Bitcoin in 2023 to 2025, which is the white line, tracks the path it charted during the second and third boom cycles. And let's get into this part real quick because this is good stuff. So you see the white line. We referenced this the last few weeks. But BTC is acting exactly like it should around a halving event. This is good news. The pattern continues. BTC should soar over the next 12 months. How can we reference it? Again, back to the previous ones where you saw what happened before. And that is like we see in orange and blue. We are in the white. So you can have an idea of, significant gains are coming up, but you have to weather that storm. Like I always mention, this is not a sprint. It's literally a marathon. Getting more into this, it says that the whole thing with the fundamentals, they have encouraged this past week by favorable crypto adoption developments. They've also stated that there's a 6-year hiatus for payment processor Stripe. Remember how we showed you some examples. Some of you guys in the comments mentioned Stripe. But, Stripe announced this past week they will start taking crypto payments again. And that's bullish, guys, big time. Starting with stablecoins. Additionally, rumors emerge this week that Morgan Stanley may soon allow its 15,000 brokers, you read that number right, to recommend BTC ETFs to their customers, opening the door for yet another flood of money to potentially enter the crypto markets. Adoption trends remain positive. All these things seems technical, but the point is this. BTC tends to consolidate for what, guys? A few months in a range-bound fashion before jumping in. Hurry to the next consolidation level. How long is that level going to be, guys? Is it going to be 6 months? Is it going to be 8 months? Well, they had some technicals. Let's get into some of this. But they mentioned that BTC dropped to the bottom of its recent consolidation channel. You saw a drop that happened recently. It has bounced very strongly of that low. This bounce has been strong enough to trigger a bullish MACD crossover the past week. Technical action is historically consistent with big incoming jump in BTC, even despite some of the bad stuff you saw today. And look at it for yourself. Here's the reference. All indicators show all hands on deck for what? 100K BTC by summer. Summer's right around the corner, guys. Right? So I'm going to keep that zoomed in there for a second. And basically, that's what I wanted to get into. I'll get Rue's 2 cents here in a bit. I'm just going to read this last part. They feel as though that these jumps have historically launched BTC to the next major technical resistance level. But with BTC at all-time highs, there is no next major technical resistance level. That's worth pointing out. But they feel as though BTC will naturally drift towards the next major psychological level, which they view as 100K. They're not going too crazy with this, saying, guaranteeing like all the other people out there that we get to 250K, and I get it. Some of those guys might be right. But with these guys, they view 100K by summer, and that, again, that's right around the corner. So with that said, guys, 80K, 90K levels, they feel as though that these are big magnets or stopping points to them, but they feel as though the next stop is 100K. And let's face it, I mean, we are basically in the month of May, May 1st. Um, I'm extremely bullish, and I'm gonna keep holding on, weather the storm. Understand, the force cycle. But Rue, what do you think with some of the info that was presented?
I like it. I mean, that kind of just falls right in line with what I'm thinking. Um, I've heard. I don't know if you've ever heard of Waters Above, but he does some nice um, research based off of kind of like astrological things and esoteric type things, and he was predicting that like the fourth quarter would be big for Bitcoin. And I know one piece of information I've always pointed out to my listeners is the BIS saying that central banks could buy crypto for the first time up to 2% of their reserve coming in January 1st of 2025. So I think there's going to be a gear up for different things that people think that the central banks will buy in the fourth quarter.
Heck yeah, man. Those examples we gave earlier about, whether it's BlackRock or some of these other ones, it's not that they're tokenizing 100% of their assets. It's just you just need percentages. That example you just gave about 1 or 2%, boom, there you go as far as the example. You know what I mean? Like, it's nice to see that, in writing. I know we don't have that. I do believe you, obviously, but I guess, as the saying goes, guys, I mean, you could Google any of that stuff, right? We're going to kick it back to the comments before we wrap things up. Let's check out the last bit of comments. Let's welcome the one and only Loconco Mission. Oui, oui. And yes, summer's coming. Plant some crops. Thank you for that. All right, we're going to do now is close things out. Thank you for being here, Rue. Thank you to Underdog Crypto, who's not here with us currently, but he was with us earlier. It's been a fantastic show. With that said, sir, you get the last word. Rue.
Thank you guys always for having me. Such a welcoming community over here as always. I hope, as always, I have earned you guys time and attention to come over to try my channel out. Again, thank you guys so much. Thanks, Max. Let's do this again, in a couple more weeks.
Heck yeah. Look forward to doing more Swift coin coverage. Another thing I was reminding you real quick before we close it out is I did mention to you, I think last time you were on, that we need to do some LCX again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, so, I mean, as you guys know, you can't cover LCX every day. There's just no way. But, we'll be glad to get more into some LCX next time around. Our very, very first show obviously wasn't on this channel, but I remember the first show I did with you was called Let's Talk LCX with Rue Black. So yeah. Look forward to that. Again, guys, give Rue a follow over on YouTube and X at Black Rue. We also have Underdog Research Channel, just how it sounds, Underdog Research Channel. He's not active on X. He does have an X, but Rue informed me that he's not active on that. So at least give him a follow over on YouTube. Great deep dive content. I'll just read the last little bit of comments, which is like I think 3 comments. Selfless Vendors LLC, Swift Coin for the win. Thank you for that comment. Hope to see more of you, sir. Dennis Lill says, anybody see the comment from SHX CEO Tammy Camp about announcement in a couple of months about expanding the footprint of customers that they will serve? That's awesome. I didn't see that. I'll have to look into that.
That's interesting because what one of the graphics that Underdog showed us, I noticed it said USDC stronghold on it, like for the seller pay thing. So, and there's I know, like, I don't know if it was like Crypto Banker, SHX, or Red Pill Professional, but one of them posted something about stronghold basically being like a USDC. Basically.
Well, to me that makes sense because they are, they're remittances. If you really think about their utility, it's remittances. So that's really bullish. All right, Blackwood giving us dabs. River says, great show, guys. Yes, it has been a great show. I hope to God that I'm back here tomorrow and don't have any toxic interruptions. To all you guys out there, if you have anything that's toxic in your life, you got to get the heck out of your life. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
say your prayer for me. I don't really request it often, but that's what's going on with me. I hope to be back with you guys tomorrow. Getting back to covering some JASMY, some of these other things. I want to cover some SHX and so on, and try to get back into a normal routine. So I don't hold solo, but I do think it's a good project, and I have covered and done deep dives on it. Just my thing is I can't be into everything. I would love to be into everything. I'm already into quite a few things. So
I hold solo. I love solo. I've had a couple shows on Sologenics. Um, they have a deal with Fireblocks, and Fireblocks is big with uh, real world assets. I think Clearpool has a deal with Firefox too, and I know you you spoke on Clearpool before too.
yeah, Clearpool's a real sleeper. I don't know enough people to talk about, but it's okay. Um, with that said, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Give Rue a follow. You'd be glad you did, and also Underdog Research Channel. And Rue, been great having you on. You have a great night. All you guys have a great night. We'll see you guys on the next one. Watch out for the outro playing here in a bit.
Peace,
You'd be
guys.
glad that you saw it. Have a great night. Over now. Bye bye.